everyone. How's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a podcast with my main man, WC3NTE. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Today, we are going to be talking about Stackr, OMI, VeVe, and then we're going to get deep. We're going to get into why you are the way you are, and why you do what you do, and why you decided to work for Stackr. First off, how are you today or tonight? I know it's pretty late over there.
Oh yeah, pretty good. Actually, I was at a wedding on Saturday, so have been slightly hungover the last Sunday, but it's pretty good now. So yeah.
Yeah, I had it wasn't any celebration yesterday, but I went live yesterday for like 4 hours with VeVe Fam Bam, and she says hi, by the way. And I had some what's that called, some Baileys, and she just kept telling me to drink. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say no. And then I woke up at like 5 this morning with the worst heartburn ever, and I just not gonna drink again for several weeks. So that is my how I'm doing today. I had some mac and cheese, so that was good. How long do we have you for? I know it's pretty late over there. I don't want to keep you for 6 hours, but
I think I have about 1 or 2 hours at least.
Sweet.
Depending on how my children are sleeping, because it might be a slight chance, but it might be possible they wake up, then I have to rush downstairs maybe for a couple of minutes, but I might be due for a comeback in that case. So
sweet. So I remember checking off set number like 197 or something for you at DCON. Like it was a big set that you had. Maybe it was 150, whatever, at the shirt. When you got into VeVe and when you started collecting and when you started getting all of these sets, did you in your mind think, if I'm a big enough collector and I'm a big enough part of the community, I'm going to work for them one day? Or did it just happen organically?
I think it happened organically. I mean, it's been quite a while where I actually wanted to get involved in some way with the VeVe community. But I mean, recently I didn't have pretty much spare time anyway because we renovated a new home, 2 little kids, so time's pretty scarce anyway. So I think with Stackr now it's the perfect match, I would say, because yeah, it's connected to VeVe obviously, but it's not like a full-time job. So yeah.
What is your other career?
I'm doing career counseling, is what it's called in Germany. I'm not sure if they have it in the States, but in Germany the school system is pretty difficult. So yeah, the young adults need people to tell them which school to go to or which career path suits them best. And before that, I was doing, I think it's called experimental education, like being outside, climbing, hiking, doing team building stuff with also groups of young adults.
And how long have you been doing that for?
For like 6 to 7 years. And then I switched and started to study like 2019, I think. Yeah.
What are the biggest differences that you see kids where like 7 years ago, maybe they were going more for like coding and now they're going for trade schools or vice versa? Where do you see kids kind of leaning towards nowadays when they're getting out of high school?
A lot of the boys want to do stuff with cars actually. So I'm not quite sure how it is in the States, but yeah, in Germany, obviously also has a big car industry and a lot of famous brands. So a lot of younger boys want to work with cars. So and for the girls, it's tough to say, mostly office jobs, I think. But it also in Germany it depends a lot on what kind of school you finish. So and I'm working with guys that don't finish the highest education, so they don't have the possibility to study, so it's a lot more limited for them. Yeah.
Planet Vampire has just bought your number 89 Uncanny X-Men poster a moment ago. Very nice, very nice. How many collectibles up to now?
I have to check. I mean, I was scaling down like half a year ago, but I'm sitting at 2,200 collectibles and 6,000 comics, I think.
Gotcha.
And I think I listed that poster because I found the matching into my gold and silver logo. So that's probably the reason why it ended up
Nice.
being listed.
The yeah, there's a bunch of so the volume that we see, I can't determine whether this is on VeVe or whether it's on Stackr. So maybe you can give a little bit of insight here. But the other day, I took a look at some of the Blackpink stuff, and it had sold. Like a lot of them were selling like right because they got burned, a lot of them. So there's very limited supply.
It's roughly around 100 each, right? I think for the last drop, like 100 sets maybe.
Can you tell which like where the volume is on the secondary, whether it's on VeVe or on Stackr?
I'm not sure. I think Dr. Profit may have a look into it or have his methods on just gathering the sheer volume, or you could also probably check the OMI burn address to see how much get burned and then calculate it. But as of now, at least I can't look into it and just give you a number.
And when you go and take a look at the burn wallet, how often is that updated? Is that updated every day, every week? Is there a set schedule for it?
I think it's pretty regularly, but it's all coded in some smart contracts. So let me check. You can actually access the burn wallet just via Stackr. If you scroll all the way down to the FAQ section, and then you can head to what are Stackr wallets, and then there's the direct link to the burn wallet. So yeah, I think it's at least on an hourly basis from.
Oh, sweet! So that's done very very regularly.
Yeah,
one of the things I think people really enjoy is the rankings, whether Golden Moments or Marvel or DC. And one of my favorite things, because I'm in it, is the sub 100s. I'm number 6 on the Marvel sub 100 list. I have a good amount of those. And there was, I think, VeVe Vet, he was wondering that, like, hey, I'm not, it doesn't reflect the 3-digit Marvel comics. And I was wondering if you guys might have an update for that at some point, if that's on your radar, or if it's like on the docket, but it's not the main priority. Would you have a ranking for that at some point?
I think technically all the leaderboard stuff could be implemented fairly easy. I'm just personally, I'm not sure how big the interest would be in a 3-digit comic section, especially. I think it's pretty hard to like separate because all of the new comic runs, right? They only have 1,000 editions, so basically anyone would be a 3-digit one. So that would pretty much mess up the accuracy, I think.
Nice.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, and that's just what I'm thinking in that regard. I mean, obviously, if there were like a bunch of people requesting exactly that feature, and then probably we would look into it. But as of now, I think, especially with all the 1,000-minute comic runs, it's hard to reflect what he actually wants reflected, I think.
So right now there's about maybe 900 people per day on VeVe. I don't know if that includes Stackr or not. So obviously that's why the role for you right currently is part-time. But at some point later this year, when NFTs become cool again, whether it's from Gary Vaynerchuk or Raoul Pal, Alex Becker, someone's going to make it cool again, and a lot of money will flow in. And we're not going to have 900 people a day. We're going to have like 9,000 people a day. And when that happens, do you think like your role now is like a could change into a full-time job, or do you think that you're kind of here as, let's say, like a Doge officer, and you're just here to like get it off the ground until it's self-sustaining, and then maybe walk away from it?
I mean, probably anything's possible, right? Obviously, we would have to see how it goes first, and I mean, hopefully, we get all the new users. From my end, I would say why not? As long as I can handle the workload, I would be down for it. But also in Germany, it's it's pretty tough with the healthcare system, because you have to, I don't know how to put it, but you have to be, if you work a certain amount of hours for a company that's registered in Germany, you get all the healthcare stuff for free. So I'm not sure how that must sound pretty amazing for all the Americans, I think.
Yeah.
So that would probably be a big factor if all those boxes were checked. But from my end, of course, or I mean, I'm not sure if it would have to be full time, but you could definitely scale it up if there's more traffic.
I imagine there'll be a lot. And I obviously it is third party, but you have to work probably fairly closely with both OMI and VeVe. How often do you guys have meetings with those two companies?
I think for Patrick or for Dr. Profit, it's on a quite regular basis. For me in particular, I'm not having pretty much meetings. The last time we got together with some of the VeVe marketing team was obviously for the rollout of the IPs. And we had some calls there to just get everything aligned. But yeah, I think obviously there's more in the background, but I'm not really part of that. So it's not like I have any insights on what's happening with the OMI or stuff like that. So
how many people are on VeVe's marketing team? Do you have to have like separate group chats because there's so many of them, or is it like, no, there's just a few and there's no need for major group chats?
I know two of them, like personally or from calls now, but I'm not sure if there's more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there a group chat where like the community manager of you as community manager of Stackr, and then Foster as community manager of OMI, and my collectible as community manager of VeVe? Do y'all have a group chat where you send each other memes?
Not yet. That might be a fun thing, but not yet.
I would love to see y'all as in like a group chat, and then the group chat leaks, and then you guys are just sending each other memes all day. That would be great. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be quite funny, I think. But no, not so far, or at least I'm not part of any group chat like that
yet. We'll get you in there. Penguin Colada is asking, how many people are working at Stackr right now?
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously the biggest part is development team, and yeah, I think there's like different teams working on different stuff. Yeah, I could guess only, but I can't.
Cool.
It's not like I'm not allowed to say it, but I just don't know the number. But it's quite a few that are taking care of all the development and support stuff. Yeah.
So are you going to be at Lisbon?
Yes.
In Portugal. Okay, so you gotta tell me. That is the home place of Dr. Profit. And I have to know, what type of party does he have planned? Because I know it's gonna be huge. He loves the party. What type of shenanigans are y'all getting into?
I'll keep you posted when I get the details, but I have no clue about the party at all at the moment.
It'd be really cool if you did.
Yeah, I know, right? But I mean, I don't have to know because I know I'm going and gonna have a blast anyway. So, but yeah, probably would be a lot of fun to know what's going on and tell the people, or even get some people to fly over. But I can only imagine that it's going to be quite a big thing, quite a big party. Yeah.
So obviously the after parties are going to be great. They always are. VeVe fan parties hard. But during the day, are you there as just like to see what the non-fungible conference is about, or are you there as like a Stackr worker and you are prepared to answer any questions?
I think it will be a mixture. I mean, I said I'm obviously available to stick around the booth for some time. But yeah, I'm probably going to look at the conference as well. But you know, like most of it's the same thing in your Comic Con. Like if you're into VeVe, there's some stuff you want to see and some stuff you want to do, but mostly you just try to not stick together, but of course spend most of the time just talking to the VeVe fam.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
All
and
right.
I mean, there's maybe some outside activities planned, like I think Lisbon has some nice landscapes and stuff nearby, so not sure if something's going to be organized in that matter, but
sweet. So so I was part of the beta, there's a bunch of us that were, and we would have these little small amounts. Hey, can you those for, you know, like 10,000 OMI or 5,000 or however much? It was super small. There is one of the main differences between Stackr and VeVe is that VeVe has you can only sell stuff for minimum like $1, but
yeah.
on Stackr you could sell it for lower than that. How many transactions does that account for? Like, yeah, like 20% of our transactions are under $1, or 5% are under $1, or do you have a roundabout of a figure there?
Not as of now. I can try to dig into it and then pass you the info, but yeah, I mean, that's probably another part we have to work on, or we have to improve on, is providing some more platform stats, for example, like just so you could see the daily volume, for example, or yeah, the amount of sales, stuff like that would be, I think, very interesting also for the community. But yeah, I mean, the big question is what to prioritize, and obviously there's a lot of bigger things in motion as well. Can't give away all of that, but let's just put it like that. We plan to do everything to bring VeVe to Web3, and all the details and stuff will be figured out in the coming months. And I think Dr. Prophet will be in talks with Dan and David about that, obviously. So there is a second version of, let's say, Stackr that's built in the background already that will include quite some more features, and we have a lot of ideas on what else could go into that. But the thing is, if we deploy features now to the existing Stackr platform, all of that will have to be redone for the new launch. And yeah, we probably aim for end of the year for that. Okay. And then I think if it goes down as planned, pretty much most part of the community would be satisfied, I think, or I hope. I mean, that might also include some of the major asks from the community, like making offers and stuff like that.
That would be great.
Other nice stuff. So yeah, it's just, we want to put out a roadmap as well on what to expect in like the next 1, 2, 3 months, and what to expect for.
So the roadmap is for the next 3 months, or the roadmap will be sent out in the next 3 months?
No, we plan to send out a roadmap, I hope in a few weeks or so. Or I'm not sure if I would call it roadmap, but rather list of features that we will deploy on the existing platform, and also what features can be expected on after relaunching, let's put it like that. And yeah, I mean, of course, some stuff like maybe leaderboard changes or minor performance issues and stuff like that can be done fairly easy, and it's worth correcting it. And some other stuff that also involves like talking with VeVe and stuff like that might take a while, and then it wouldn't be worth it like building it twice. So yeah, that's the decision part that has to happen in the next few weeks. And then I think Dr. Prophet will also have some talks with Ben and David on the ideas he has currently. And then, yeah, we hope
Okay.
to satisfy the Web3 needs the VeVe
So-
users have. Yeah.
Getting Disney and Marvel agree to have their stuff being bought on the secondary with OMI is so huge. That is such a major accomplishment. It hasn't really affected the price yet, though, and we'll get into that later. But that obviously took a while for them to sign off on it and everything. For any new license that we have, like David says, they're rolling out a new IP this week. I can take guesses at what it is, but that new IP, let's say they announce it this week, and then they, give us a collectible in next month. Do we have to wait for them to go on Stackr, or are they going to be available on Stackr right away?
I asked the same question. I'm not sure if I have the right answer. I mean, I would have to guess, and obviously it's on VeVe's end for all the licensing stuff. But I think most of the IP should be included, but I can't tell for sure.
Okay, but yeah, it seems like I feel like companies might say, oh well, if Disney's doing it and Marvel's doing it, then they should probably do it as well. So I can picture that being. We
Yeah,
had
in the end, it's just a logical decision, right? I mean, for the licensor, it's all about getting the royalties guaranteed. So that works either way with Stackr or VeVe. So basically, the decision for a licensor is that he might lose potential customers if he doesn't open up the secondary market or the Stackr market. So I would say it's a pretty easy decision, especially if, like you said, big brands are going with it. But yeah.
You had Vitalik Buterin that had changed his avatar to a Milady NFT not too long ago, and I thought that was hysterical. If you could pick someone in Web3, someone big in crypto and NFTs, to change their profile picture or their avatar to any one VeVe collectible, what would it be?
Which person or which collectible?
Which collectible? Like pick any random person. Like pick like Gary Vaynerchuk, pick Obama. Like pick any famous person. If they had the opportunity to change their avatar to one VeVe collectible, what would it be?
I think it would probably be a Spider-Man secret rare, or maybe a Miles Morales with the new generation.
Yeah. There's a bit of a shakeup in Web3 where Apple lost a ruling against Epic, and they said, hey, Apple can no longer charge these 30% fees, which affected like tens of thousands of apps on the App Store. And, companies are losing out on billions of dollars. Companies have closed because of it. And now that their TOS have to be updated in the US, it is possible now that OMI could return to the VeVe store. Now, obviously, you working for Stackr, you would still heavily endorse people using Stackr because it has a burn with it. But how do you think this affects Stackr? How do you think VeVe should respond to this when I imagine well in the six, like this Stackr was probably cost well in the six figures. But how do you think VeVe should respond to it now that they have the opportunity to include OMI on the app?
Oh, interesting question, actually. I haven't thought about that one. I think it depends if VeVe wants to go through all of those changes. That's probably the first big consideration. And what's going into that, I think, is can the customer experience we provide on Stackr be good enough to just have everybody stick with it? I mean, obviously that's what we aim for, at least in the long term. And then probably will also depend on what's going to get talked about in the next couple of weeks or months. Because I think OMI still is for the Web3 people, and if Stackr aims to get all those on board, then probably that's the benchmark of sticking with Stackr, I think.
Cool.
But I also understand that it would be fairly convenient to just have it all on one platform. But I mean, obviously there's a lot of hiccups and a lot of mix-up with all the different systems and overlapping Stackr and VeVe. But I think the experience will get more smooth as we move along. So probably it won't be that big of a factor, I think. I hope.
Yeah. And you are you're currently in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a post the other day. I forget who posted it. It was like Watcher Guru or it was Ash Crypto Real, one of those guys that has like millions of followers over on X. And apparently, as of right now, Germany lost out on about $2.5 billion by selling their Bitcoin at 64,000. How does that make you feel about the Germany's government at the moment?
Just as expected, I think. I mean, I think the people in charge like have changed, or there was elections in between that, but I think it wouldn't make a difference. I think it was like close to 60K Bitcoin that were claimed from people running illegal streaming platforms back in the day. It's been quite a while, but yeah, I mean, it's just funny because every other country is talking about implementing strategic Bitcoin reserves, and Germany just goes, fuck it, let's sell it all. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, I think it would have been a smart move to just keep at least part of it.
Yeah,
but
they've been so they've had a interesting couple of weeks where they started building up their military. They want to increase the debt ceiling a little bit so they could kind of supercharge the military and put a lot more money into that. And the memes have been fire. Everyone's like, "Oh no, Germany wants World War III." The memes have been great. It is Memorial Day here in the U.S. Do you guys have a Memorial Day over there for veterans?
Not really. I mean, because obviously the veterans from World War II are not looked upon as heroes or maybe patriots. Yeah, so
I guess I meant from like recent history where you do joint military operations, you're in the European Union, and Russia's kind of a big threat there. So I didn't know if there was any type of oversight for them.
Not really. I mean, one thing I love about America is the credit that military people and veterans get. It's completely different in Germany. So
USA.
Probably also in Germany, you have to understand this. Like, pretty rarely you even see a German flag or stuff like that. Maybe during like big sport events or so. But
yeah.
People look like confused at you if you would raise a German flag or automatically think you're like racist or Nazi, stuff like that. So also our military doesn't really have it's not really popular, let's say it like this. I mean, we had like a mandatory 1-year service for all the men, but that's been put out of place like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So nothing like that in Germany.
My friend Lilith got confused when she first came here in like 2017. She's from Austria, and she's like, "Why are there American flags everywhere? Like they know we're in America." I was like, "It's patriotic, USA." She's like, we don't do that in Europe and Austria." I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, there's a little bit of a culture shock for her. Bringing it back to the VeVe OMI stuff over here. Saying that Dr. Prophet had mentioned there would be multiple other licenses that VeVe does not have, but they would be on Stackr because their Stackr is going to be open to everyone. Do we have any ideas when the first license might be implemented on Stackr and rolled out there?
I think probably the first rollout could happen if let's call it new version launches.
Okay, so the new version needs to launch for that to happen.
I would say so, yes.
Okay.
Because obviously now the main goal is to just provide as much value as possible to the VeVe community. So because that will, for at least the next month, definitely be the biggest crowd of users.
Yeah.
So that's the main focus at the moment. But if we relaunch or if version 2 hits, then it might change.
Wonder if there's I know you said like towards the end of the year, but obviously in tech, building something, hey, this is a weird thing, and it might be delayed a couple months, but even if it's Q1 of next year, I would say that's still a pretty nice thing. Maybe like 7-8 months away, roll out a new thing, and that might be the height of the NFT bull market. Things going narratives, NFTs kind of ran last time, so I feel like that could be like the perfect jump that we might need to bring some more revenue on there. Would you have the fees for, let's say, like any other license, like a CryptoPunk or a Bored Ape Yacht Club? What would the fees be on Stackr for them selling on that marketplace?
I think you would have to ask Dr. Profit. I mean, because I'm not at all into those metrics, but I think probably would be the same than any other stuff, or probably the same that any other NFT platform charges, like OpenSea, Magic Eden. That would be my guess, at least.
There's what's up, Sean Burr? We don't know the new thing yet. The new license will be announced hopefully this week. We'll see.
What's your best guess on the new license, if you had to guess?
I think that David might have inked a deal with Minecraft, because Activision Blizzard was in the licensing conference in Vegas, where he was. I imagine he had a phone call or a couple virtual meetings with them beforehand. When David was at the licensing conference over there, obviously they're owned by Microsoft. Microsoft owns Minecraft. So I have a feeling that is, and obviously Minecraft was one of the ones that had VeVe had posted about, and granted they also posted about a Pac-Man, and which, by the way, Pac-Man was Namco, and they were at the licensing conference as well. So it's possible that I think they're either in talks or may have both of those licenses. I made a video like a couple weeks ago that David's done some interesting things with Minecraft, Roblox, and Pokemon, and he does follow Roblox on Twitter,
yeah.
And he shared something about them but VeVe didn't post about them, and they did post about Pac-Man and Minecraft. So I'm, I think David, when he shares stuff on Instagram, it's his personal Instagram. That's just how many things he likes. So he has shared stuff on Pokemon before. He has shared stuff on Roblox. But I think that because that's his personal Instagram, he might just be a fan of those things. And on the VeVe accounts, that's the more professional account. So I don't know if they would like Aura Farm or like Engagement Farm. Now, I mean, maybe they are. Maybe they're trying to get a pollination of followers from those places, and maybe that can help them in securing that license. But it's just an interesting coincidence that they had just come from the licensing thing where they might have inked that deal. So I would say Minecraft is probably my or Pac-Man. One of those two might be my best guess.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you because you may know.
I don't know. No.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I would also expect maybe Minecraft. I would even go a step further and think they wouldn't talk about it if it's not like a drop coming in 1 or 2 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Because like some of the IP obviously has been signed like a couple of years ago, but I doubt with such a big IP, I doubt they would tease it without like dropping it the next 2-3 months. I would say. Yeah.
There's
I mean, the interesting thing is with all the new licensing going on, I think it's pretty remarkable because VeVe's revenue numbers obviously have been shrinking a little bit over the last couple of months. So I would say like they must be having something up their sleeve or something nice to show all the licensors that they go through with such a partnership, right?
Yeah.
Bold statement maybe, but
there's just a buy on one of these tokens that I have. So currently there are Ethereum, USDC, and OMI on Stackr, both on ETH and on Base, which is nice. In order to maybe get a little bit more people on there, would we ever increase that? Would we ever have like Solana? Would we ever have like any other chains on there, or are we sticking with those three for now?
I think for now, maybe stick with those. But yeah, I think obviously if your goal is to bring in as much Web3 people as possible, that's definitely on the table, I would say. Probably even enable listings in other currencies. But yeah, the main goal, or one of the goals, is obviously always providing some sort of utility for OMI. Yeah. So even if there would be like other currencies to list in, there would probably be a decreased fee or increased burn rate or stuff like that to make OMI the standout token of the platform.
Agreed. Sean says legacy gaming is going to be huge for VeVe if they can start locking them in, like they're doing so well on the comic end with half a dozen publishers already, saying gaming is a gold mine. Yeah, so if VeVe does these giveaways, now obviously VeVe owns these NFTs, so they're able to do a lot of giveaways. But Stackr, obviously being an incredible third party backed by like Dr. Is there any type of giveaways or raffles or any type of community building that you guys might do in the immediate future, like at Lisbon, or is that something you're going to save until the second part of Stackr rolls out end of this year? You have any insight on that?
Yeah, we will try to do something in Lisbon. I mean, obviously, I've also passed along quite some ideas on what to do, but of course, it takes quite some time up front if you want to make it right. So from what I know, there will be incentives coming, also like to use the platform or to sign up to Stackr. And then, yeah, of course, giveaways is one of the best possibilities to onboard new users. So yeah, we will definitely think more in that direction as well. Yeah. I would say.
When gold Stackr logo on VeVe?
Well, the funny thing is, I came up with the idea to do something similar, like what Dan and David were doing with the gold and silver logos. But as for now, it's not coming. So for different various reasons that makes sense, but I can't really elaborate on that. But yeah, probably sometime.
That's fair. I had asked Foster, he said yes. I asked Dr. Profit, and he said yes. In the same way that VeVe has some of their people be on the app via like Epico. Obviously, you guys do not work for VeVe. You work for Akomi and Stackr. And would you give a waive to any fees and say like, yeah, I don't need any money for this in order for people to buy your digital collectible and for OMI, and the OMI gets burned? So obviously there'd be no money, there'd be no revenue share. But would you be okay with that by them using your likeness for a digital collectible of you?
Also, I'm not sure if I understood it right.
Would you give the okay for them to use your likeness to make a digital collectible where they release you, Dr. Profit, and Foster?
You mean like the Epico characters, like my
yeah, but not for Epico, because Epico obviously that's cost gems. They get a revenue share. I want this for straight OMI, and the OMI gets burned, so there's no revenue share. It just burns OMI. Would you be okay with that?
If it's for a daCAT comic, I would say yes.
I would 100%. I will take some of the profits from the daCAT comic, and I will use that to buy and burn some OMI.
No, I mean, I'm definitely okay with it.
Okay, cool.
The context, so.
Awesome. All right. So now that I have three of y'all, that's the Trinity, and I feel like that is the that is enough collectibles, enough people for collectibles. Where, I mean, a lot of them go for like the last two that VeVe did, you know, the David and Dan one, and then the old Rhubarb and VeVe Magic. They grossed like 50K, and 50K burn in OMI is a freaking lot. You know, that's you know, 20K is like, yeah, 23K is like 100 million, which is nuts. So like a couple 100 million would be burned if they did that. So I think that would be nice, and I think that would get people going. What would you think would burn the most OMI that VeVe or Stackr could do? Would it be like a land sale? Would it be something like collectibles? What do you think they could implement?
I would say implementing offers and doing maybe bulk listing and bulk selling would be two of the biggest catalysts to drive traffic and hence burn OMI.
Yeah, I think so too. Offers would be great. I think that one of the most underutilized things right now. So obviously in the VeVe-verse, like you have your dioramas that'll be used as backgrounds and stuff. But I think giving people like if people wanted a Stackr pin, or if they wanted like a hat, I just think having like a VeVe hat in there for like $2, and then you could put it on any collectible and that gets burned. I think that would be, because it's like unlimited, and I you know, it's their IP. Like if it was like a Disney pin, then it's like, okay, you have to share revenue with them. But if it's just a VeVe pin, VeVe toilet paper, like, you know, let's get the spread. But yeah, other people are saying offers as well. Arturo says, "Ich spreche kein Deutsch, aber hallo auch beiden." Did I say that correctly or no? Butcher it.
You would say, ich spreche kein Deutsch, aber hallo euch beiden. So pretty close.
Do you speak Dutch and hello something something? Is that what that means?
It means I don't speak German, but hello to both of you.
Ah, very good, very good. Hello, hello. I do not know any German at all, as you can tell.
That's fine, as long as you know English. You get along quite well.
Nice, nice. More collabs with Web3, like Elmon X is going to Ordinals and uses ETH as many of the collectibles that Penguins, 8gen, and there are others. At the end, collabs do well in real life too. I agree. I would like I'd like a collab with everybody. I mean, right now, one of my favorite ones is the collab with KFC. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, Figpin and VeVe, but I would love Taco Bell. I would love Wendy's. I would love, I don't know, what are the big fast food places over there that do really well?
In Germany, there's like only McDonald's and Burger King. I would say those are definitely the biggest two. There's like but it's always a big deal. Like I think in Stuttgart, my town, it was a big deal when Five Guys opened, but it's not like doing extraordinary well. So yeah,
Five Guys is great.
There is fast food, but it's like, sorry.
Oh, have you ever seen the movie Spaceballs?
Not yet.
It's so good. They have a merch section, and one of the things that they have in the merch section is a flamethrower, and there's like, the kids love this one. I would love if we did get merch. Yeah, by the way, I don't know why VeVe doesn't do that. Why they don't open up a merch store? Is Stackr going to open up a merch store and show VeVe how it's done?
Good question. Maybe it's, I would say, I mean, I know you can do it fairly easy to open a merch store, but probably nobody that feels in charge for it at the moment. So, and yeah, obviously also maybe after version 2 hits, that would make more sense, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, McDonald's would be great since they do collabs in real life with Pokemon. I mean, even Big Pin has what do you call it? They have like Dragon Ball Z. So I would love another type of thing with Dragon Ball Z or any type of anime. I feel like they've been teasing anime for so long and we don't have it. What's your outside of Pokemon, because that's what everybody wants. Outside of them, what would be your preferred license on VeVe, the next one?
I actually don't really have a preference. I mean, I'm not like into anime stuff at all. But yeah, Pokemon would be fun just to see, how it goes, or if it actually does bring in all the new users everybody's expecting. I mean, did you? I didn't read through all of it, but the case files from the Gudenzi case, I think there was some paragraph that something was said while negotiating the Pokemon license. Did you read that one?
Yeah, they've been negotiating for like years, and I won't go too deep into it, but I think something's got to give eventually. Like at some point they're going to be like, okay, these parameters are acceptable, and I think there's a greater than like 60% chance that we get it, because either Pokemon does it with us or they do it by themselves. There's no other platform out there that they would go with, like that'd be silly. So yeah, I think we get it one day.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the big differences between VeVe and all the other NFT projects like Punks, Penguins, and whatever is, in my opinion, that actually the VeVeverse plays quite a bigger part in all those surroundings, because like if you have a CryptoPunk, you can probably display him as a PFP, but not like you can build a whole world and interact with all the dioramas and stuff like that. And I think that VeVe is the niche for firsthand all the licensed collectibles, and also on the I would say storytelling world as well, because it's quite amazing. I mean, I'm not the frequent VeVeverse user, but it's quite amazing what people can build without having the technical background. So
yeah.
I think that's one thing that probably won't draw everybody who's into NFTs into VeVe, but it might attract a lot of new users down the road. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of so Clever Jerk, I love this man, has some really good videos, that he has some really cool stuff. But a lot of his videos are like short, like he makes certain things and they're like 30-second videos, but I forget, there's a couple of them that they look like oases. They're like actual worlds that they built, and it's like, oh my god, this is just the beginning, right? Like so few people are there right now. Like this is just within this scope of people. Yeah, Infinity Gauntlet in real life would be great. They have a lot of cool stuff. Great. So, well, thank you, Mr. Chan. Shaq. Oh yeah, Shaq would be dope. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to have a Shaq collectible. What up, Crypto Cosmo? Everyone, have you? Crypto Cosmo's he's in a bunch of different projects. One thing that he and a lot of other people talk very highly of is Off the Grid, where they have the guns token. Have you played that game?
Not at all. I don't have time to play any games at the moment. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, I think gaming is like the crypto narrative that a lot of people were expecting more at this point, I would say, because like in the last cycle, probably all you had to do is promise a crypto game, and the token goes bananas. Like Illuvium, I think, also down like 99% at the moment. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of gaming. I mean, I am in quite some gaming projects, but nothing too exciting so far. But no, not into off the grid at all.
Yeah, what's weird is that Illuvium's down like 99%, but they still have like $100 million market cap. It's like nuts. Like they're still, it's worth so much. So this is why, you know, 100x is really not that hard for, I don't want to say not that hard. Of course, 100x is hard, but you know, getting to 10 billion, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. Again, this is for Illuvium. They're like the number, they're in the top 500. Yeah, this is why I think that a lot of first-time investors aren't really understanding that. I don't think Illuvium is going to justify the $10 billion market cap. They probably might not even justify a 1 billion or even half that. But it's just people that hold the token. They think diamond hands, and they think no one's going to dump, and they're going to go to 100 billion. And I think that's what happened with OMI as well. A lot of like newer people say like, no, I think it can go to like 20 cents, and you know that might be a lot, but I think 2 cents or 4 cents is pretty reasonable. You don't have to answer this, but I like, did you ask them, be like, hey, can I get paid in OMI, or is part of the salary that you get in OMI, or is it just cash?
I didn't ask for it. I mean, probably I can ask for it, but so far I didn't ask. No. Because I promised my wife that the Stackr money goes into planning vacation. So
okay, that's fair. Where's your first vacation?
We're heading to Denmark, like just 2 weeks, and then let's see. So
nice. What are you doing in Denmark? Is it for the chocolate?
No, just hanging around at the beach, probably.
Cool.
And then of course I have to pay for hopefully New York in October and stuff like that. So
yeah. I can't wait.
But I think the interesting thing with OMI, like if you compare it to other coins from last cycle, like Illuvium, I think is that most of the other old coins have, I wouldn't say nothing more to offer, but like there's no major catalysts I could think of, because the game has launched and it's just for the game. So nothing much exciting that could happen where I could imagine it's new all-time high. And for OMI is like, obviously there's still a lot of people building around the token, trying to come up with new utility. And I think, the interest obviously hasn't peaked. So I would also say OMI has a lot of room to grow, a lot of reasonable room as well. So let's see what the future holds. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Can't wait. Welcome to Denmark, everybody. That'd be, I think so David gave a little alpha this last week where he's like, hey, you know, we have this new license coming out, you know, and obviously we don't know who it is, but they should announce it before the end of the week. And it's not that long until we get Lisbon. So that's actually next week. That's like a week and like, you know, a couple days. I don't think David's going to be going back to New Zealand like as he's in where he's in Europe. He's probably going to have a bunch of meetings there. And when he goes into Lisbon, are there any worries that he might slip a little bit and he might say certain things that you guys are working on that he that is not ready yet? Or is it like, nah, you know, he's a CEO, he can say what he wants?
I think on his end, he can say what he wants. I mean, I just hope I don't slip.
Chances of alpha going up. Okay, cool. That's going to be one of the things that I think Mr. MC1 and a bunch of other people at Lisbon are going to try to find out. Like, hey, what's going on? Like, apparently KFC was leaked before we got him. Apparently they he had mentioned something before it happened, and I was like, oh man, that's cool as heck.
I mean anyone can buy me drinks and try to get me drunk. So I won't say no to that. But
what's your preferred drink?
I'll take whatever if it's a free drink. But
My man.
Probably gin, I would say. But
Cool. I'm not going to drink for a while because I went a little too heavy last night. Trying to write this Space Penguin novel. This is a rough one. It's hard for me. I know you don't have time for video games. Do you ever read some of the comics that come out, like the new ones on Wednesday mornings?
Not yet, and I don't think I will. Probably. I mean, I did read some, like on the original comics. I read them during flights, for example. Just having them ready and being able to read them. That was pretty nice. But from newer stuff, I'm not that much into it.
So if I could make a recommendation, Predator versus Spider-Man is so good. That is like, there's such an I don't even know how many of these sold, probably not a lot of them, but Predator versus Spider-Man is really good. Aside from that, Aliens versus Avengers number 1, 2, and 3, those are great. But yeah, if you ever have 20 minutes, I assume these are like $3 in the store. Predator versus Spider-Man is like, that kept my attention, and it's just the ending. I was like, oh, I freaked out. What do you get excited about? What makes you verbally scream? What makes you go in and go yes, and you get excited and you can't control yourself?
You mean according to VeVe or in
anything
general?
In general.
Tough call.
Is it football? That your sport over there?
I do play American football here in Germany. I mean, obviously the level is not even close where it is in America, but I enjoy that. But I'm not the most emotional player, so like I don't freak out on the field or whatever. So probably I would say once you have kids, that's the thing that gets you hyped up the most. If they do like cool stuff or I don't know, make their first steps or stuff like that. That's where the biggest emotions come in, I would say. And probably if I would hit a special mint like 1977 Star Wars mint would be pretty cool, but that hasn't happened yet, so still waiting on that.
In America, a lot of my friends that go to like their kids' sports games, they like pregame. They like drink and they like make an event out of it. They go. Dude, there's like betting. There it is wild. At least in my section on Long Island, it gets nuts. And there hasn't been a fight, but I feel like it's been close where people be betting and fighting on these games. Do you have TikTok?
No, I try to stay away from that.
Okay. So how do you keep up on like the modern trends and what might be good for Stackr and licenses? You just be like, that's not my job. My job is this and not that.
Yeah, I don't think there's like actual trends that Stackr would need to catch on. I think like the biggest impressions come from just listening to the community, talking to people, checking what everybody's writing. I think that's probably also the angle we can tackle at the moment, because like if we try to chase every new trend, obviously you would have to be really fast also in implementing stuff before it's not.
I have to show you a video.
Okay.
And then I have to get your take on it.
Don't finish writing that prompt. I don't want to be in your AI movie. Please, leave me alone.
Please, man. Please. Write a prompt that will make us happy. Do it for once.
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided.
So the prompts on Google's new VO are incredible. Like you can still tell, like based on the eyes and based on the acting, that it's not human yet. Or most people can, like under the age of 40. How old are you?
32.
Yeah. See, young as fuck. But a lot of people, especially older ones, like kind of like 50 and above, it's kind of hard for some of them to tell. and I don't know why, but it's getting very, very scary. It's getting very close to them being human.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just the beginning, right? I think if you combine, that technology with all the deepfake stuff, like, I think give it a year or so and nobody will be able to tell the difference, I would say.
How does Germany inculcate AI into like the education system? How do they go in and use it for teaching, whether it's cops or kids or?
I would say not at all. So, I mean, education probably. I mean, of course, there's like students using AI to get some work done, but
but like the
probably
teachers don't use it for like lesson plans and stuff.
some might, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm out of school for quite a bit, so.
I didn't know if like your kids have. Or how old are your kids? Are they in school?
3.5 and half a year. So.
Oh, okay.
Not
So
yet.
they're okay. Gotcha. Oh, half a year.
No.
That's young. So you're tired.
No. I'm sleeping through every night, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm the lucky one, but.
Yeah. Good for you. So we've got an hour. I don't want to keep you too long because you got important work to do.
That's fine. I mean, I would say there are like some teachers that might use it or use it to prepare for studies, but in Germany it's also like if you're working as a teacher, it's called Beamter. Some jobs, if you work at the government, like you can't be fired or anything. So I wouldn't say it's a prejudice, but probably part false, part true. But people tend to get really lazy once they reach that status. So there's like no need to do all the fancy stuff but I mean, of course, I think the younger generations, obviously they grow up with all the AI stuff. So I think it will play a bigger part each year now, but so far from as far as I reckon it's not widely spread.
It's wild that some of the prompts that are made are more realistic now than dreams, because in dreams, even though they might not make sense, you still have like, okay, there are people in your life, there are people that you know, and it looks like them, and the prompts even as of like a year ago were nowhere near that. So this last question, and this will be more personal than on VeVe or Stackr, how do you deal with the fact that us right now, we are likely simulations or prompts from another creature above us?
I wouldn't say I believe that, but
I do. I don't know. I feel like we us as humans, we create and we make things micro and we make them smaller. So I feel like we're probably not the only ones that have done that or are doing that. Probably others have done that as well. And that's
that's fine with me. I mean, obviously there's like so much that has to go into us being where we are.
Yeah.
But I doubt we will ever find out, so not sure about.
Maybe not. That's true. I'm curious on why. I don't know if this is like a glitch in the code, if we are in a simulation, but ghosts and hauntings, that doesn't seem like that was intentional. That seems like that's something that, the spirit should move on, and it doesn't. I don't know about Germany, but in the US there's the Annabelle doll. You might have seen the movies. And Annabelle was recently brought. She was on like this world tour. They brought her to West Virginia in like the state penitentiary for a time, and then they brought her to Texas, and they lost her. Like, this doll is responsible for like deaths. This doll is responsible for like people getting injured, and they straight up lost the doll in like transportation. Nobody knows where it is. Does Germany have hauntings? Do they have like places where it's like supernatural stuff?
I'm not at all into that, but there's stuff like haunted places or some stories about haunting, but nothing like too popular. So
Gotcha. It's good. It's good to know. I've been to Germany a couple of times, but I don't believe I've seen any hauntings. Apparently, at one of the castles I went to, some people see something. I didn't.
which
I think
castle
one of
did
my
you go to?
I don't know the name, but I think I can show you. And based on where is this, 22 or is it 19? Forget which time. I think it was 19. I'll give you a show, and you should be able to see, like based on where it is. I don't know if you know who Rainbolt is, but he takes he can like look at a place on Earth and oh that's in Thailand, oh that's this place. Dude's insane.
Yeah, I think I saw some videos randomly.
Yeah, so this is.
I mean, I'm not even
March.
sure if I could tell from the picture, but
Yeah, I'll give you a. Okay, that's my face. Ignore that. I don't know if you could tell based on where we're standing what castle that is.
can't
No.
tell. But I'm also not that familiar with.
Oh, maybe. I think that's a different one though. I don't think that's because that's definitely not it. That's like a small one. There was another one we went to. Forget where. Anyway. Yeah, that was that was an interesting trip because it was the second time I'd gone to a movie theater in Germany. The first time was 2016, and with me and my friends, we saw Fanny. We saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and I didn't know it yet, but you know Fanny's in the movie, and I was like, oh, that's thinking back now, it was cool. But there wasn't really any moment where you know you like cheer. But in 2019, when I saw Captain Marvel, and she's like kind of getting her ass kicked by Jude Law, and then she gets like angry, and I was like, "Get him, Carol!" You know, and I'm like the only one that's fucking cheering, and everyone's looking at me like, "What the fuck?" And apparently, you guys don't do that there.
No, not really. It's like everybody stays silent.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like even on public transportation, y'all don't talk either. Like nobody talks on the buses, nobody talks on the trains. Like I feel like y'all just sit there in silence.
Yeah, I think everybody is just looking at their phone. So
Yeah, but like, oh man, I don't know. I guess I'm more of a social creature, and especially in New York, everyone's doing everything on like people have like comedy shows on the New York subway. People take like baths and shit. People like crazy shit happens on the New York City subway. I don't know if you've gone.
yeah, I got a glimpse sometimes, but nothing of the real crazy stuff, I think. But yeah,
Good time. Okay, we'll end it there. We'll talk off stream, off camera for a bit, but everyone say bye bye to Dashi. Bye bye Dashi.
yeah,
And thank you for coming.
just have some
Yeah,
final
I
words.
can't ask you OMI price prediction, so we're gonna skip that question.
Well, I can answer it. I mean,
Okay.
I'll probably not give a number, but yeah, like I said, I don't have any insights on what's happening or what's in the works for OMI. So I mean, obviously, I hold a couple of million, but not a crazy amount. But I think fair enough if it does like a 5x this year, that would be great. I think. But also, like you know, with so many tokens, yeah, once you get momentum, it's a lot easier to breed that momentum and get eyes and attention and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say bearish case it like it's hanging around where it is. Maybe if all the developments take a lot longer, and bullish case, I would say 10x and upwards would be really bullish for me. I mean, obviously, who knows what's happening, exchanges, stuff like that, then it could really get out of control. But I would say 10x sounds pretty bullish to me.
My bear case is like a 20x. So that's, yeah, my bear case is like it's funny. I would say the bullish should be like 1 to 200x, like 2 to 4 cents. And then my base case would be, I guess, like half a cent, or maybe like the old all-time highs, not 1.3 cents, but like the 007 ish. I expect a lot out of the NFT movement. I expect a lot of money to come in, and I'm not saying that OMI would justify like a 10-cent, $3 billion market cap, but I think that a bunch of people that don't really know economics will come in and be like, yeah, it's only it's only 2 cents. It can go to $1, and then they buy it based on that, and they don't really pay attention to the market cap, and that's how the market cap get huge. So I'm banking on that, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I wish us the best of luck. I mean, obviously a 10x is also pretty nice, I would say. But yeah, like I said a couple of times, I'm not really much into OMI, because just most of my money went into the collectibles, and I think especially the Grails probably will be not tied to the OMI price, but like it's all the same ecosystem. So if one of either goes up, I think the other one will as well. So I'm pretty confident sitting on my collectible stack. So don't give anything about what I say on OMI.
Yeah, I think the NFT hype will come back this cycle. I don't know if that means this year. It could be next year. But I do believe that comes back during this bull run. Anyway, that'll be it for us. Thank you so much for coming on. This is great as always, and let's we'll do it again.